Hello again traders, Andrew Curry here. Excuse my voice because I actually had a bad chest infection which became pneumonia over January, so my voice occasionally gets a little bit gravelly. But otherwise I'm okay. Back to looking at the charts, and if you're new here, have a look at my website. You can sign up to my free trading newsletter. Now, what I want to have a look at here, one of the good things about having a community of traders is that you get questions and feedback about what people are wondering about. And one of the common questions I've been receiving is, should we be taking notice of, if we look at this candle here, the high and low of a candle, or the open and close of a candle, and what should we be giving more weight to? Now, this is a green candle, obviously, so that we know straight away that the close was higher than the opening price. But this candle, as you can see, has a very large overall movement compared to the size of the body of the candle, the distance between the open and close. So which should we give more weight to? So as you can see, and I'll just draw this in very quickly, roughly what the markets have been doing here. Price has been going in the bearish direction, it moves in the bullish direction before moving down again. If we were to take that spike into account, we'd see a much larger move for this period. Now this is a daily chart, daily candle, so therefore this represents the activity that occurred over a day. Quite a large distance between between high and low relative to the relatively small open and close. So which should we be putting more weight to? Well, if we look down at the hourly here, you see I've marked this candle, and if I find it again, there we go, right. So, and we find it again here we go. So we see the same pattern down on the hourly. What does that tell us? It tells us that the spike in price that produced this big spike in the wick of the candle here and back down again occurred during 1 hour of that day. It occurred during the 8 o'clock hour there, 8 till 9 in this case. So therefore, why would we be taking notice and giving more weight to a spike which occurred in one of the 24 hours of that candle, when clearly the overall movement, the common trend, was for the price to be around this area? If we look again on the 15, and we find the candle again, oh, there we go. Even on the 15-minute chart, we see a 15-minute candle here, we see the same pattern. Very large distance between high and low, very large range there relative to a very small body between the open and close. So again, even on the 15, we see that most of the activity occurred here, and that this was a temporary spike that only occurred over a few minutes. If we go down to the next logical division, the 5, so the 5 minute, here we are again, right. So if we zoom in on this 5-minute section, which is why I put the yellow there, so we can see, right, so we can see now we have to go down to the 5-minute chart to find a candle that doesn't fit that pattern of relatively small body. So what that tells us is that this price increase, which deviated from the common pattern, occurred over, well, not a 5-minute period, over a period of between 5 and 15 minutes. So if we return to the daily and we find that candle again, here we go, just zoom in so you can see it easier. So this was the candle, and we know that this spike in price was a temporary spike that lasted a few minutes. Price was pushed up for a few minutes, maybe likely it was some news event, and therefore, oh, excuse the voice, therefore, why on a daily candle, this is the daily chart, over a 24-hour period, would we give a lot of weight to a price fluctuation that occurred over a few minutes in that 24-hour period? Well, you wouldn't, because what it's telling you is most of the activity tended to happen there. By taking note of the open and close, you're less likely that your analysis is going to be skewed by a temporary spike in price that had no real significance in the overall trend. And that's the power of looking at the open and close, not just the high and low.